That's quite unfortunate. Oh well. 600 strike. The first, the only solo 600 strike. Can't believe I'm gonna end up doing 3 goddamn 600 strikes. So we have this one solo 600 strike. Excuse me if I sniff a lot. It is quite cold outside. I just came back from the gym and I was just outside, so I'm still quite cold. I'll do my best not to sniff too much because I realize I could probably get very annoying. Duvet Box. We have Duvet Box. Duvet Box is the only solo 600 strike. Initially, Duvet Box was actually the only one on the list. There was always... I mean, I think it's no surprise. There was always a placeholder for Neil Illustrator. At that point, Neil had announced she was doing 600 strike, and essentially there was a placeholder that said, if Neil finishes before Mad gets there, it'll go on the list. But Duvet Box was also always on the list. And I am absolutely going to be watching it on mute, because we already know how much I loathe this song. And I get that it's like the most divisive song in the fandom among musical, and like for good reason. I think it's very valid to say, for a lot of people to say, this is where the show just like completely jumps the shark. And even with like the last bit melodically being quite nice, it's so silly. But a lot of people have said for the longest time that Duvet Box was like the best 600 strike, and I think from what I understand that's because Duvet Box, you did not do a windbag jetpack, which will absolutely at least win you some points in my favor, because windbag jetpack. I'm sorry. Let's just get this over with. We already have a flash warning. Okay, I'm gonna turn up the brightness on this because of this bright sunlight. Okay, windbag. Okay. I love the shark teeth on your Poseidon, number 1. I think that's what you're going for. Well, the pointed teeth, I should say. They're not really like proper shark teeth. Hi, Peg, yes. Using the windbag to get him up. I like that it sort of swirled him around a little bit, like it wasn't just this perfect straight up line. Again, my big, not even that much of a joke question is of logistics, which as much as I joke with Greek myth, it's like, don't ask. Just don't ask, guys. In this case, no, I'm sorry. How in the world do you use that as you can't direct it? I like the idea that he can't direct it that well. Okay. Use the windbag to basically shoot that back at him. Okay, so that moment there, he gets a cut on Poseidon, and then he looks like really pleased that he got a cut on him. I will say, this wouldn't make sense for Odysseus. Certainly not Odysseus, who has gone through the Iliad. Because in the Iliad, we literally watch Greek heroes fight gods. I mean, mainly Diomedes. Like, Diomedes has his moment of Aristeia, goes absolutely batshit insane on the battlefield, and gods get wounded. That's not something that would blow Odysseus' mind. Now, to be fair, the gods who are on the battlefield at Troy in the Iliad are of the generation under the Chronaides. The Chronaides being the children of Cronus. So Poseidon being one of them. But it's the next generation they're fighting on there. They are not on the same power level as the Chronaides. The Chronaides are more powerful. It's heavily implied. It is kind of seen in the myth. But just that moment, while I get, and again, Duvet Box, I want to say, I'm going to have to say this really as a blanket statement for anybody who animates 600 Strike. I understand you are chained and restricted by the song itself. Like, this is a moment where the hands are tied behind your back. You're doing your goddamn best. And I appreciate that you do give a moment, like, using the windbag to basically send the trident back, essentially being that the weight would probably be more on the end with the tongs, so it would turn itself back around. Cool, clever, I get it. And that would, you know, get Poseidon's cheek. And that gives Odysseus going, ah, wait, there's an idea. Or like, oh, he can bleed. Where it's like, well, yeah, he knows that. But again, I fully recognize you are chained by this song, and there's only so much you're going to be able to do. Great motion on the cape for his running. Oh, his little busted raft is still there. Is he getting back? That is... Okay. That is a choice, and I don't recommend it. It looked like some craggly rocks and stuff sticking up in the water. I mean, jumping back in the boat. I mean, again, I do like that he's trying to use the jetpack with two. It is kind of, he's using it kind of like a jetpack, more like a motor. And he's trying his best to direct it. It's difficult. Putting himself on the water maybe gives him more wiggle room, but the sea is Poseidon's domain. Like, it's not as though Poseidon gets any more or less powerful whether or not he's in the water, but I don't think I'd want to jump right back into that guy's kingdom when he's right there, actively trying to kill me. But I see what you're doing, and I do appreciate that he's not flying around with a jetpack. There's a wave, which can pursue. Oh, we're full. Okay. Ooh. Having the rocks be the thing that hits Poseidon. Yeah, hi. Sorry, when I have to back up. I like these little bits of blue you have in places, Duvet Box, like on the edges and tips of the trident. Yeah, he still should not be able to hold that. Really should not be able to hold that. That also bothers me, which again, I understand everybody is changed by the song.
Just to be me.
Playing with his blood. Hearing lots of snorfles and snarfs. Peg is just very excited. I'm back from the gym. Hi, honey.
Now you'll never get back.
His red eyes, which a lot of people have done to kind of symbolize, oh, he's monstrous, which I know I'm not the only one who has done analysis on why this does not work. From a storytelling perspective, why the idea of Odysseus becoming the monster, how it all kind of gets especially fumbled in the back half. I know I'm not the only one. I've been sent videos of other people making really great analysis talking about it, and from all different angles. So, again, I'm trying really hard to not just dip back into criticizing the ever-living daylights out of this song, when again, like I've said many times, Duvet Box, I recognize how your hands are tied. And I appreciate that you want to do the red eyes thing to cue the audience. But what I really liked more before the red eyes came in, it was the shape language of the way he turned. He's against the wind, his hair is going this way, he's got a curve on this side, and everything's pushing that way. It was just a really great image. Reminiscent of how they did a lot of drawing for Disney's Beauty and the Beast, of the Beast, because he was kind of very forward. You had this very particular curve that would be formed by his outline. This reminded me kind of that, and it's just great use of the hair and the cape and everything being moved by the physics of the wind that's around them.
Or what? You can't
See, that relaxed posture on Poseidon I like. Oh, there we go. Yeah, the blue. Oh, love that. We've had a lot of great blue that glows up. It looks really nice, this blue that you have for his trident, and you're using it as a soft, like airbrush kind of glow going on here. But what I liked was also the spark was yellow. Again, blue and yellow, not quite exact opposites on the color wheel, but these two different primary colors like really help each other stand out. And yeah, again, Odysseus should not be able to touch the trident.
wait.
It's good motion.
How does it feel to be helpless? How does it feel to know pain? I watched my friends die in horror.
The flash frames are nice.
I heard their final moments.
Though Polites, like, yeah. I know he's mad about Polites, but Polites doesn't necessarily relate to Poseidon. I mean, if you want to make the argument, it sort of relates to Polyphemus, which relates to Poseidon. Like, I get it. I still think by this point, like, the narrative should have long since forgotten him. Interesting. The fucking please. Hate it so much. But yeah.
After everything
You gonna put it in a fist?
how will you sleep at night?
I appreciate that Poseidon's smiling.
Next to my wife.
Oh. I actually, you know what, Duvet Box, I'll give you that bit. Actually, quite a lot. Again, I recognize how tied your hands are by this song. I appreciate that at the end, you have Poseidon laughing and smiling. Because, yeah, this should amuse the shit out of him. Like, he's not actually hurt. A mortal would never be able to touch his trident. I appreciate you have that. This kind of manic glee to Poseidon. Wish there was a bit more of it in Odysseus. But again, you're doing what you can with what you've got to work with, which is not a lot to work with. And what you have to work with is, not great. So again, honestly, very impressed. Not a particularly long video, if only because so much of what I want to say is not necessarily about the animatic, it's about the song itself. And everybody knows I don't like this song. Everybody knows. It's not a secret. It's not news. You know, nobody's calling the presses. I do appreciate Duvet Box, how hard you worked to try and make it make some sense. I mean, even while he used the jetpack almost like a motor, as a propulsion device, if you will, it wasn't a jetpack strapped to his back. You were trying to split the difference, basically, and I appreciate that you tried. And again, I like that bit at the end with Poseidon, with the kind of manic look in his eye. That is the one solo 600 strike that does not have an accompanying Get in the Water. Next week, we go rogue for JoJo. JoJo, please tell me you didn't do a windback jetpack, please. Please.
Please.